I figured since the last video I did was 5 tips to starting your agency, I figured this video we could do 5 mistakes that your agency will make. Now, we own our own agency, OnlyFans, and has it been pretty successful over the last, since we began? Absolutely. Have we also made a multitude of mistakes on our journey? Absolutely. So I figured in order to help you guys in the most efficient way, I would just tell you guys the mistakes that we made, and hopefully you avoid them because they're pretty brutal mistakes and they will set you back. Now, as long as your foundation is strong enough, you should be a-okay. But without a strong enough foundation, you could suffer the consequences, and it's not pretty. You will have very unhappy employees, as well as you will not be in the best mental state either. So without rambling on too long, we're just going to go ahead and get into it. The first mistake that we made was not registering the company. Now, going into this idea, you may think that this wouldn't be that big of a deal because you don't need to register your company in order to have one. What I found was if you're taking large payments through any payment processor, chances are they are going to shut you down if you're not registered. So it's something that we had to deal with, and it set us back quite a bit. If you're not able to get paid, then you're not able to pay your employees are mad, and shit goes downhill. So this happened to us. We created a Stripe account, we created a Square account, and when we sent out an invoice to one of our clients, they paid it, and then instantly our account was shut down because we weren't a registered company, because it's too much money. They don't, it's weird to have brand new created Stripe account and then, $5,000 coming into it. They're going to shut you down. So registering your company is going to save you a lot. Not only is it going to be good, on your tax deductibles and help your accountant out, it just in general is going to save you a lot of time, as well as it's going to make you look more official to any of your clients, because majority of the agencies out there are not registered whatsoever, so they're not even legitimate companies. Now, with that being said, it's extremely easy to register your company. If you have an account and just talk to her and she'll get you set up, you can register it, within 10-20 minutes. It's very easy to have a legitimately registered business. So I'd recommend talking to your accountant about that and just getting that set up before you pay the consequences of having your account shut down. They'll refund the money back to the client, and then you have to tell the client, hey, I'm not professional enough to have a Stripe that works, so could you go ahead and resend it to me through Zelle? That's ghetto. You don't want to go through that. The second mistake that we made, and we made this pretty early on, which I'm thankful. You want to make your mistakes early on, because the least amount of mistakes that you can make when you're actually making revenue and doing good is the better. So the second mistake that we made, it really wasn't that big of one, but it did hold us back quite a bit. So we didn't build a strong enough relationship with your clients. You need to have a strong relationship with your clients, and for a multitude of reasons. So one of the reasons being the simple fact that they are going to trust you. They're going to be more incentivized to give you the content that you need, as well as the simple fact that they may run off with the money that you're owed if you do not have it in place to where you're taking the money and paying them. Now, all clients are going to be different, especially when it comes to the OnlyFans industry. Some clients are going to want you to take in the money, you pay them, or some of them are going to want to take the money and their end and then pay you. Now, if you don't have a strong enough relationship with the client, there is a chance that they're going to see a huge uptick in money and run. So you don't want to deal with that. Build a relationship with your clients so that you can avoid any of those issues in total. So one way that I personally recommend is I use Calendly. If you use Calendly, you can actually just send them a little calendar thing, and with the link, I'd recommend you watching a YouTube video, of course, but they'll click on a date and a time where they meet. All you have to do is meet with them once a week and kind of just discuss anything, right? Discuss their revenue, discuss the content that you need from them, tell them that they're doing a good job, just kind of like wander off and just talk to them. Just build that relationship with them, because the closer relationship that you have, the less likely you're going to get gypped in the future. So build a relationship, and that actually leads us into mistake number 3 is not taking a monthly payment. Instead, taking a 2-week payment. So we had a client that we sent out an invoice to. So she was making around $4,000 a month, and when we stepped in, she made around $8,500. Now, seeing that huge uptick in revenue caused her to kind of freak out, and a lot of these creators don't really budget very well. So when they see more money, they spend more money, and that's the majority of the population, and you got to remember that. So when they see more money, they spend more money. In return, they're not going to have the money to pay you. Now, if we did a 2-week basis, it's a lot easier for clients to pay you $2,000 now and $2,000 later instead of $4,000 all at once, because that is a large sum amount of money. And I've heard from plenty of creators that they would rather take every 2 weeks instead of a monthly payment. Now, depending on your relationship with the client, you can break things out and maybe even do once a month, once every 6 months, whatever you may do. But it all comes down to that relationship that you have with the client. Without a relationship, your payment processing and your workflow in general is going to be a mistake. Number 4 that we made was not having correct chatting strategies in place for the chatters. Without good chatting strategies in place, the revenue that you're going to be receiving is not going to be as well as it should be. Let's say you have 1,000 paid fans. These 1,000 paid fans should be bringing you in relatively upwards of $50,000, meaning your price per customer is around $50. And without a good strategy in place, whether this is, a sequence or a script, or even playing very specific games with the fans in order for them to bring you more money or to give you more money and incentivize them to give you more money, then you're not going to be able to hit those revenue goals. If you have 1,000 fans, you should be seeing around like $30,000 to $50,000 a month minimum. And it all comes down to having proper strategies. When we first started, we didn't have strategies. We started to develop games over time, as well as sequences and scripts, and everything from there has just blown up. And we've been able to increase our clients' revenue by well over 100%. Whoever we pick up, we can increase by easily 100, 120%, all due to the strategies. You don't want your subscriptions to be bringing in more revenue than your actual tips and messages, because the majority of the sales should be coming from the messages themselves. So without strategies in place, you're going to fail. 5th and final tip or mistake that we made was watching other YouTube videos on the platform and about the industry, seeing their revenue and comparing. Now, majority, I would say about 95% of all the creators in this space are absolutely and utterly lying, right? All these creators are getting exposed for scamming. There's this one Chario guy or something along those lines who is just blatantly faking results. Now, I wouldn't trust any creator unless they're willing to actually hit you with a refresh, show you the entire client's page, refresh, show you exactly how much they're making. Screenshots can be, spoofed extremely easy, inspect element, or, just straight up stealing other screenshots from other creators. Do not trust anything you hear in this industry unless they can prove to you otherwise that they are actually legit. Nath Aston, I think, is a pretty good creator. Now, is his course worth $1,000? We're going to be going into that next video. I don't think so at all. We'll go into that next video, but don't trust anybody that you're seeing on this platform. They're all getting exposed for scamming and not, providing correct or legit results, this and that. So don't trust anything that you're seeing in the public eye, because for the most part it is fabricated and spoofed. You don't want to intake that into your brain because their results are absolutely and utterly fake. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. It was just a nice little quick one. I guess it wasn't that quick, to be honest. I thought it felt quick, but I hope this helps you on your journey, because it can be quite tricky. Now, if you just learn from the mistakes that we had to go through, then you'll be able to avoid them in the future. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Don't forget to drop a like, drop a sub, turn on post notifications. I hope you guys have an amazing day, and peace out. Peace out, man. Peace out.